What do you think of my plan, Your Grace?
I think it has definite merit. Already King Nebuchadnezzar is forgetting his vow to worship Daniel's God and is returning to his usual allegiance to Baal and the other local Babylonian deities.
But do you think he'll see through the plan?
Who? Nebuchadnezzar? Never. He is too proud and self-exalting even to suspect an ulterior motive behind a plan to further exalt and make famous his name.
Then you're with us, and you'll go with me to see His Majesty?
I am, and I will, if you will do the talking.
Gladly. Long live Nebuchadnezzar, great king and founder of mighty Babylon.
Yes, I founded Babylon, and it shall last forever.
Indeed it shall, Your Majesty, and that is precisely why the high priest and I have come to confer with thee.
Words are meaningless. Just why are you here?
O king, thou knowest that thou art great, even as the gods, and we wise men and priests know it. But the people are not sure. They still fear that Daniel spoke truth when he said that Babylon would come to an end.
Daniel did say that, and come to think of it, I don't like it. I am strong and wise. The empire I founded is strong and indestructible. The buildings I have built are beautiful and everlasting. My kingdom shall have no ending.
Exactly, Your Majesty. And the people should be told this. They should be made to realize that thou art the greatest king ever to rule among the kingdoms of men.
You come in direct contact with the people, High Priest. Just what do the people think about me and my kingdom?
I hesitate to say this, O king, because thou art a powerful king, just, mighty, kind, thoughtful, wise. But the people, they still remember and ponder the words of Daniel. Babylon shall fall, and another kingdom shall take its place, an inferior nation even as silver is inferior to gold.
I must do something to correct the thinking of my people.
With His Majesty's permission, I should like to make a suggestion.
Permission granted.
The image thou sawest in thy dream, O king, was an imposing one. Why not reproduce it in all its splendor? Let the huge image become the national god, a god representing His Majesty. The people shall bow down and worship the image, and thus acknowledge the supremacy and never-ending godliness of thee, O king.
I am much pleased with your suggestion, wise man, and it shall be carried out. The image I build shall be like the one I dreamed about, except my image shall be entirely of gold. And the people shall know that Babylon is eternal, and that it shall break into pieces all other kingdoms. It shall stand forever.
Hail to Nebuchadnezzar, everlasting king of Babylon.
Gather together the wise men and counselors and keepers of my treasure house, the chief of my builders, and all the officers of my court. We shall draw up plans for the image and start building it at once. You may withdraw.
Long live Nebuchadnezzar, everlasting king of Babylon. Open the door, guard, that we may depart. He fell for it. I told you he would.
With his boundless ambition, selfish pride, and enthusiasm, he will build such an image. Even so, I fail to see how this will get rid of Daniel and his 3 friends.
There is enough gold in thy treasure house, O king, to build an image of gold to the height of 60 cubits.
So shall it be.
We have investigated every available and likely place, Your Majesty, and suggest that the image be built in the plain of Dura.
It is so ordered. Captain, I charge you with the full responsibility of guarding the gold being transported from my treasure house to the plain of Dura. Also, the image after it is built.
Yes, Your Majesty.
The image is about finished, Your Grace. About time, don't you think, to make another visit to the king with further suggestions?
The final phase in your scheme to be rid of Daniel and the 3 worthies?
The final touch. The golden image at Dura is about finished, Your Majesty.
So I hear.
Until His Majesty sees the image for himself, he can have no idea how imposing it is. The Babylonians have never seen anything nearly as majestic as this resplendent statue. The people, accustomed to idol worship, will be enthusiastic in their worship of the beautiful and priceless image, representing the glory of Babylon and its magnificence and power. Thou art this image of gold, O king.
Yes. And in bowing down and worshipping the image, the people will be bowing down and worshipping me. I shall be the newest and most powerful of all the Babylonian gods.
In keeping with this, may we suggest that His Majesty issue a decree commanding the princes and rulers of all nations and tongues to gather at Dura on a certain day and bow down and worship the golden image?
I can see it now. The plain crowded with admiring people. At a given signal, everyone shall bow down and worship the image. Me!
The king will issue such a decree?
Immediately. I shall have the scribe write the decree upon a parchment, then send messengers to all corners of the earth, commanding all princes and rulers to attend the dedication of the image at Dura.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Nebuchadnezzar, everlasting king of the mighty Babylon!
Nebuchadnezzar, everlasting king of the mighty Babylon!
The appointed day came, and a vast concourse from all nations, people, languages assembled on the plain of Dura.
Every man of any importance from all over the earth is here to worship my image. I am great. I am invincible. I am all-powerful. I am God. Oh, scribe, is all in readiness?
All is ready, Your Majesty.
The furnace?
It burns furiously, Your Majesty, ready to receive and consume anyone who dares refuse to bow down and worship thy image.
No one has the courage to refuse to obey my command. Start the ceremony.
Yes, Your Majesty. Quiet! Quiet! To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that when you hear the music, ye shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshippeth shall the same hour be cast in the midst of the burning, fiery furnace. So be it. Musicians, give the signal.
Wonderful. All the important people of the world bowing to my image, paying me homage. I truly am God.
I beg His Majesty's permission to speak.
Permission granted.
Live forever, great and mighty King and God of all Babylon.
Bow thyself to the ground and have done with your speech.
O King, there are those who bowed not at the blowing of the trumpets.
Someone actually refuses to obey my commands?
Of the truth, Your Majesty, 3 captive slaves from Jerusalem.
Captain, seize the 3 men who refuse to bow down and worship my image. Cast them into the fiery furnace. No, bring them hither to me. I would look upon those who dare disobey me.
All eyes of that great throng of people watched as soldiers slowly made their way to where 3 captives from Jerusalem, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, stood. The soldiers seized the 3 and dragged them back and cast them roughly at the foot of the throne upon which sat the mighty and angry Nebuchadnezzar. Suddenly, a strange silence hung over the multitude as each ear strained to hear every word spoken by their king and to watch 3 young men cast into the fiery furnace. The golden image was forgotten. The attention of that great crowd centered upon the 3 young men from Jerusalem, 3 captives who had dared disobey the command of the great Nebuchadnezzar.